What's going on, guys? It's Greg from East Coast Eyes, and today we have not quite a review of the Eclipse 2, but definitely a first look and an overall impression. As you guys know, I do not play goalie. I am not qualified to review goalie head. You've seen me play goalie on this channel, and it's pretty rough. Roll the footage a little bit. So as you can see, not qualified to fully and comprehensively review a goalie head, but I do want to break down for you guys some of the new features and just the general tech ideas that you need to know about if you're thinking about picking up the Eclipse 2. So here it is, came out on July 4th, as far as I can tell, just in white right now. And also, as far as I can find online and in stores, it only comes as this big bundle package with mesh and a shaft for $165. So it looks like for right now you will not be able to buy the head unstrung and alone. You're gonna have to spend $165 to get some stuff that you might not need. Like we ended up with shaft and mesh, which is kind of unfortunate. But maybe eventually they will roll out the head unstrung by itself. So if you're a goalie, you already know about the STX Eclipse. It's been the best-selling goalie head, I'm sure, since it was released in 1998. That means it's almost been 20 years since they released the first Eclipse. So for 20 years for a 2 version is a pretty long time to wait. And some goalies that I know that are my age have literally never played with a different head in their entire life. But obviously it worked for them, and this is definitely one of the best goalie heads out there. General changes and improvements. The number one thing that goalies wanted out of an Eclipse 2 was a stiffer head. So I can say for sure this head is stiffer in pretty much every dimension. When you're a goalie, you're mostly worried about stiffness going backwards up here because you're going to want, if the ball hits up the top of the scoop, you don't want the head to fold back. And I know that when it got hot, the Eclipse had a tendency to get pretty flimsy, and if it hit a corner, it could potentially fold the head back and go in the goal, and I have seen goals scored like that. So basically they just beefed up most of the rails and changed the sidewall strut design a little bit. You can see here that it is familiar. It looks strikingly like the old one, but just updated. They're all a little beefier and has a slightly new truss design that does make the whole thing a little bit stiffer. I was surprised to not see C-channel here. The Shield has C-channel, and that's what STX pins is like. This is how we make heads stiffer, and I thought that that would work really well here. So I'm surprised that they didn't put it in the Eclipse 2. I'm not really sure what the reasoning for that is, but that being said, it is stiff enough. And then looking at the scoop to keep it stiff, they kind of reshaped the profile, made it a little better for ground balls, kind of a little speed scoop thing going on here. Stringing holes was another big one. The Eclipse has long been a stringer's favorite for its great face shape. It always lent itself to a really great pocket because of this kind of shape that wasn't too bowly, wasn't too round at the bottom, had a nice taper. So from what we can tell, the face shape is entirely unchanged. It is literally identical on the Eclipse 2, and they came close to doubling the amount of sidewalls. So whereas before you had to maybe do some 2s or some 1SIs, now you're left with the ability for more flexibility in the pattern. And one of my favorite things they did was they made these sidewall holes nice and big. A lot of goalies now are using 2 loops through each sidewall, and this you could probably even do 3 or 4, so there's definitely a lot of flexibility there. So we've got a great pattern here with the Hero 12D that we strung up, and we're going to leave that pattern down in the description if you goalies want to try it out with this mesh. And finally, the next big improvement was in the throat. I mean, when they designed this head, designs were so much more simple. You can see they've just got a little socket for the throat and this big fat taper, and there's even like some holes down here, only 2 bottom string holes and holes in the throat. I don't know what the initial idea was there, but it definitely wasn't convenient as time went on. So here they've got a streamlined throat that is much thinner up through here for in case your hand gets up there when you're moving for a save. Overall, just a better look. The string holes are more normal. You've got 6 across the bottom here for more flexibility, 2 screw holes, and a really nice ergonomic design where your hand can kind of fit right on here. They've got a texture that's pretty comfortable. I don't know much about how goalie holds the stick, but I can definitely see this being way more comfortable than this. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. They kind of went with the if it's not broke, don't fix it mentality, and the laid back technology, which people always like here as opposed to an offset head, You can see the head just trails away, gives it a really smooth release for outlet passes, is almost unchanged, just like the face shape. So for right now, it seems like the goalie head that everyone who was using the Eclipse was asking for. If you're an Eclipse user, you're really going to like this. The only drawback that I'm seeing right now is that you got to buy the $165 package, even if you don't need a shaft and mesh, but stay tuned, that might change. So let me know if you have any questions, what you think of the head down in the comments. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.